Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Velvet Lounge Life. And yes, people, we are going to spoil the Joker for you. Not 100%, I would say like 70%. You have to have something left in your pocket when you go and see this movie. It is brilliant. In the maddest, most middle of the drama, craziest human insanity at its best, but its worst way. So I have a warning, and this is very serious. I have a very serious warning for this movie. If you or someone you know is planning to watch this movie, whether it be at home, when it comes home, because obviously eventually it will be on cable, as we know, or in the movie theater where it is right now, if you have mental illness to the point of not knowing what reality is versus fantasy, which this movie is a complete fantasy movie. But if you're having issues with the current state of affairs in the world today, this is not a joke. I suggest that you not see this movie, and or you keep those, if as well as you can, away from seeing this movie. So if your kids have issues, you know they have issues, then why would you have them sit through a movie like this? It might be what could push them over the edge. Now, in saying that, this is a comic book movie. So obviously it is not reality. However, just like if we were to watch Cinderella, or let's say some, Lady and the Tramp, which is a Disney movie about two cute little doggies and it's completely cartooned. There's realities that people could see in those movies. However, the difference is the violence. The violence is choreographed like the best music you've ever heard, ever. However, it is disturbing. I'm sure to some people the imagery will be very disturbing. And some people who may not have mental illness issues might actually, have a few tears. Like, it could be a little disturbing for some people. So that's where I'm going to leave the warnings. It is definitely a rated R movie. As far as sexualization goes, it's, some implied stuff. There's nothing where you're going to be shocked or your jaw is going to hit the floor. If you've watched movies on HBO, Showtime, Stars, the list goes on, then you've seen way more on a show on one of those stations than you will ever see in this movie. However, as I stated before, it's a very, very strong rated R movie, and it is due to the violence. It's also a different type of movie in the best type of way. That's where I'm not going to give a lot away because you really need to see it to appreciate it. I do believe this is an Oscar-worthy movie for several reasons. The acting is superb. Joaquin Phoenix is brilliant. I hope I don't use the word brilliant too much, but there's really no other word. He's supreme, to describe what I saw. And his level of skill is absolutely amazing. He has points, he's definitely an actor who put his entire body into this because, there's some, he lost a lot of weight. He really did. The Joker is kind of emaciated. So he did definitely get physically into a particular form for this movie. The costuming is, I think, fantastic. The set work is pretty cool. I was looking in the background saying, wow, I could resell some of the stuff on eBay. I had to throw an eBay reference in there, of course. Also, the direction, the directing, the writing, the producing, the videography work, the musical score is perfect in this movie for what occurs as this story is being unfolded. The other thing I would say about this, of course, are the other actors in the movie are absolutely like this. Whoever put together the list of actors and got them to sign on to these various roles did an amazing job. So casting also deserves an award. This is, a realization, if you will, that's what I'm calling it, of R-rated movies. What does that mean to me? I mean, if clowns terrify you, go see your religious soul-finding friends or clergy. Because you might need them after watching this movie. It might make you rethink a few things. It might make you lock more doors. Unfortunately, the Joker, his character is living in a fantasy world sort of set up by his mom, who's also insane. So yes, he's insane and his mother's insane. And she tells him the story about him being related to the Wayne family. So yes, there's references to Bruce Wayne, who becomes Batman. And so the Joker believes his mother that he's, the love child of Bruce Wayne's dad. And obviously that's not true, but he believes a lot of things as reality. And sometimes that's where I think people will look at this and be like, oh my God, this whole thing is not based in, we really don't know the origins 100% of the Joker after watching this movie, because the poor guy has believed all of these lies that he's been told. Now, unfortunately for the liars in his life, a vengeance unknown to humanity practically, as far as what one would do to your own family members, is taken out on them. So yes, he kills his own mom. He killed his dad sometime earlier. He definitely is an equal opportunity sort of murderer. There's a lot of killing in this movie. So, if someone is going to kill their mom and dad, guess what? Friends, neighbors, everybody's in trouble. Everyone better watch out. DC, I believe, is back with a vengeance with this movie. I think they learned their lesson and they were like, you know what? If we're going to put it out there, we're going to put it out there. So I believe that, I'm not saying that every movie will be filled with violence and craziness from DC. I just think that they're paying more attention to the imagery, the soundtrack, all of the other things that I mentioned that are Oscar worthy in this movie. Okay, I'm going to digress a little bit. So I think it was Batman versus Superman or Superman versus Batman. Absolutely horrible movie. It was so dark, you could hardly see what was going on in the movie. So when I say dark, I'm literally talking about turn the lights off darkness. And also the acting of, I hate to say it, Ben Affleck. It was absolutely awful. It made no sense. Why would you cast him as Batman? He wasn't good as any other superhero in the past. None of those are issues in the Joker at all. As a matter of fact, when you leave the movie theater, if your mind is open enough, and then close it back and get back to reality after you leave the theater and throw away your popcorn and beverage container, you will sit there you'll have a conversation hopefully with whoever you went to see the movie with afterwards, because I think it's that type of movie. Why? Because this movie sort of is a twist on things that have been occurring over the last few years. Leadership